Okay, guys, here I am back live again, continuing with the code and just summarize what we did last time. If I can get that up here. There it is. Okay, so paused, unpause. Okay, so yeah, I think we've got pretty much got the attract mode running as much as I'd like it to be at the moment. And then we've got press fire. Oh, fire isn't space, is it? It's Q at the moment. Okay, clear, play player one. And then that's it. Right, now, actually, we might just look at, let me just see if I can get the original game, because I'd like to have a look. That is the original arcade game. Take a quick look at it. Have a little play. It's about time I got around to that, so again, haven't looked at it for a while. Might take me a minute to dig it out though, if I'm honest. Well, it's all good. It always takes a minute or two for people to turn up anyway, so. I just want to see that Ready Player One little thing. Almost there. Okay. So this is on main. Take a closer look and have a little play for a while. Just get another feel for it. Okay, so there's those little twinkly stars there, which obviously I could add those. Just want to watch this a little bit. This is the scripted. It's interesting. So here I'm just watching the attract mode, and a couple of things I'm looking at, right? Just when I'm thinking about what to do. Obviously I've already figured out the layout. It's interesting that the See in the bottom right there, there's a number 1 in the corner. Little purple number 1. No idea what that is. Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, you've got the fellas there, and I'm just looking at the overall layout, and I think, well, obviously I've had to adapt this to be vertical to horizontal, right? In fact, I can even give you a side by side. Let's do a side by side, more or less, of what we have planned here. So this is the old version I wrote, which was incomplete. Okay. So, okay. Now, let's put them side by side on the screen thingy here. I just make that bigger. It's about there, isn't it? Right? Okay, so what you can see, and that's, I think it's pretty interesting actually. You've got the play area, right? And then you've got the score above, you've got the ground below. So what you can see I've done, you've been through this before probably, but take the score and put it on the side here. That gives us 2 characters. This one, this little sort of crash area, we moved it down 1. It's not ideal, and it does give us a bit of color clash, just a touch. But that's enough, because you know you're never really going to go up here, and if you do, you're kind of screwed anyway. So if you just screwed a little bit sooner. But other than that, you can see we've more or less got the same amount of space to play with. Is it a bit wider? Yes, it is. It is. It seems to be a touch wider, right? Couple of characters wider. Although I'm surprised at that, and I think maybe that's not the case. Because if I'm looking at this, counting across, well, clearly what you can see here, I'll just count it here. You can see that there are 3 characters here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 28, right? So it could well be I think it might actually be the same, or is it 1 less? Well, if you look at this, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spikes here, and 1, 2, 3. Right, so there are 6 spikes here. Okay, so this one is 27, and this one is 28 across. And the reason for the 27 is we've lost 1, just so that we've got enough space for the score and so on, that play area there. I think that's also a pretty good compromise, and besides which, if you look, I mean, it's almost as though it's a little bit wider. Not sure why that disappears at that point. Yeah, so the ratio is a little bit wider, isn't it, anyway? But it's a fair approximation, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty, when you consider most Spectrum games, it is pretty accurate. Anyway, that's by the by, that's all fine. I'm going to use the model I've got here, but I'm curious about the actual Lunar Rescue game and play that a little bit. So let's do that. This is the demo game. Credits, you see 0. It works on a, as far as I can tell, it works on a script. So it does the same demo game every time. So whether I put that in or not remains to be seen. Might do, could be interesting. It'd just be like a series of commands on the cycle telling the ship what to do, and then the rest of the game will just behave itself, but we'd have to code it quite carefully. Perhaps actually record it, you know, like play it and record something, use a routine to record it, and then make it play back, almost like an RZX, I suppose. Could be an interesting idea. Anyway, what I want to see is what happens when you start the game. Right. Okay, so I'm kind of relieved that it doesn't flash or animate because it's less work for me to do. So it literally just does that and then we're in, right? Fuel starts at 800. Press fire to open and oh, didn't realize what the keys were then. Controls. You see that the actual graphics are XORing. This game is a lot tougher than I remember it being. It really is quite challenging, especially the bit where when you go back up, it's very tight. Those bullets are firing fast, and yeah, I'm not doing so well, am I really? Wow. Absolutely useless. I'm gonna get better at this. Uh-oh, I'm in big trouble. I've used up so much fuel. Okay. Okay, getting the hang of this though. What you actually need to do is sort of move with them like that, right? So if you move with them like that, you won't get shot. But I'm curious if the shots are random or are they random, or I do get a bit of sound. Are they random or are they targeted at the player? Right? You might get the impression, for example, in Space Invaders, that the bullets are random, but they're not. They very much, well, some of the different types of bullets, but some of them actually target the player. But yeah, if you want to, oh yeah, you can tell when you're in trouble because you've got to really got to move with the ship. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here as well. I'm just curious about. There's a lot of little asteroids, isn't there? I mean, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 16, and now I don't know. Wait. Yeah, so you just go like that, and then here, if I go, it feels to me as though, I mean, I'm never going to make that, am I? Ah, yes, of course, I remember that now. Oh, that's fun, isn't it? That's really cool. All right. That only happens if you hit the ship. But of course, yeah, the subtleties of this game are a little bit more than meets the eye. And I'm really not too good. It is late at night, folks. Bear with me. Let's see. A couple more games. See if anyone turns up, really, as well. Sure, it goes without saying that when you're coding something like this, yeah, I'm getting the hang of this. Come on, come back. Here we go. When you're coding something like this, it's really important to play it quite a bit as well, you know. It has been a while since I've played it. I think you can, I think I watched the playback on original hardware. The sounds are nothing to write home about, as would not be a surprise for this sort of era, but I think you've got an acceleration sound, and when the man runs, it's like... Okay. Another thing I'm curious about is I've almost eliminated all the aliens. So if I eliminate that last one, right, well, it seems like they reset anyway. I wonder at what point they actually normally reset. Okay, alright, that was pretty good. There we go, up a bit. Because you'd think, you know, what you would do is kind of reset. Ooh, risky one, this one. You would reset them, you know, you would leave only, you know, just let one or two spaceships so that then you wouldn't have the same. All right, of course, I forgot about those flipping asteroids as well. Okay. I actually didn't think that asteroid turned up until you cleared one away. There we go. Oh, it's clear. I am getting better at this game. Ooh. Not using up too much fuel. Okay, so it's a lot of resets there. Oh, just took my eye off it then. Yeah, so I think when you come down, there's a little bit of sound. Like, this is the last scientist. Hope I rescue him. And you get a bonus, right? Looks fairly doable. Get lost. Ah! Yeah, there's your bonus. And now they're worth 100 points. Doesn't seem like it's added more asteroids. I guess this game's also a little bit like Frogger, isn't it? I mean, I haven't really thought about that, but it is a little bit, isn't it? Hello, someone's popped in. Good to see you. This is not the game this is not the game I've coded. This is the original arcade game. And I'm just taking a look at a few things because kind of moving into the sort of meat and potatoes now. And yeah, I want to just get an idea. So I think there are, just pause it there. It was obviously a bad place to pause it. I think the game just keeps rolling. If you just leave it like this, it's interesting because I can't remember. Does the game decide, oh yeah, you can't just sit here and wait forever. You've got to land at some point, right? You've got to yeah, so it does. It doesn't let you just sit there. So these are the little things you've got to think about. Don't know if there's any source code for this available. I think it's on Space Invaders, which is actually Z80, curiously enough. I think I'm done here, aren't I? Yeah, what I'm looking at now, I mean, this asteroid's part, it's meteors, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's an asteroid belt, isn't it? I'm looking to see if those aliens are just randomly shooting, or are they deliberately targeting me? It's really good though, this game, I have to say, it really is good. Yes, see, sneaking up on one from the side like that is a really bad idea. If you approach, you've got to stay in the direction of the ship so that you'll always avoid the bullet. What I mean is, like moving that way, stay with it that way. If you approach them like that, then you're in real trouble because you can't. Bullets come too fast. But I think that the aliens do target the player. I got a feeling. There's some randomness, right? Look, there are actually different speeds as well. Different speeds of bullet, look. Another interesting question. I mean, and again, it's look. You see, when the player's going down, there's no flame until they land, right? Unless you hit it. On the way up, the flame's going all the time, like this. But curiously, it doesn't affect the fuel. I don't know how that works. But yeah, look, you see the fuel when you hit the button. But you'd have thought when he was going back, I mean, fair enough coming down, but on the way back up, you'd think the fuel would be an issue. I'm done there, aren't I? I got pretty good, and then I'm just talking at the same time while I'm trying to play. Anyway, okay, that answers a couple of questions, right? So let's take that away. All right, I'm gonna put that down in the basement somewhere, and let's think about drawing this layout and what would be the best approach, because I could just compress it. I'm deciding whether to compress it or to just do it raw or whatever. I suppose that compression is a bad idea, simply because in terms of showing people approaches for coding, then you could talk about compression. I mean, I'm kind of settling on doing it in 48K, and so that means I've just got tons of memory. But in terms of techniques, that might not be a bad thing. I have coded it in some respects as being suitable for compression, and I'll show you why that is. If you take a look here, what I've done, right, these are all the characters that are used to draw the well, it's paused, I think. Yeah, so these are all the characters that are used to draw the landscape down here, right? And on one side you've got these ones, and then here this one is plus, I think it's 8, isn't it? Yeah, so this from here, you could say this is 0 to 7, yeah, and then 8, 15, and these ones are all exactly a flip of these ones, right? So, and obviously on the screen, it's a mirror image. So if we go back and look at the screen, let me take a copy of that. Okay, so potentially what I can do, we've got a screen here somewhere, have we? Yeah, okay, so let's say we want to draw this, right? Now, in order to draw that, oops, ignore that, we've got, just notice, do we not have the spike? You know, the floor, that thing at the bottom there, that floor. I'm not sure we've got that character. That one, right? So that's the one I've used in AGD. I'm not sure we've got that one. Yeah. Have we? Ah, there it is. There it is, right there. Okay. Okay, so well, interestingly, I have a routine for drawing that string of characters across the top. So what I could do is have another routine that draws that string of characters across the bottom. That would be okay. And then, you know, mod the code so that we can use a different character font and just go draw that. That would be good. But what I'm thinking, and it's partly motivated just by the curiosity factor, I could draw these, and I think they're all, I think it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 8 there, so one of those must be repeated. Although I can't see one of them being repeated, but perhaps my plan was to just repeat one of these ones, you know, just something like that, you know. You can't tell the difference, can you, that that one there is the same as that one? There's really no difference. It's just kind of landscapey anyway, isn't it? So anyway, it's so few bytes, it's not worth compressing really. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think yeah, what I could do is just draw it and then flip the byte. I think I remember seeing Z80 routine online about that. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so I remember seeing this online ages ago. It's just from trying to give somebody credit for this. Okay. Well, the regular routine, the standard way that you would rotate it, rotate a bit. So what, just to say, what I'm thinking is to print a character, there we go, and then to print it in reverse, here, there would be a routine that you would add to the character code that would print it in reverse, right? So let's say I put this routine in here, which I found on. I'm just trying to see whose blog it is. The blog hasn't been updated for years, but I want to give someone. Okay, John Metcalf. There we go. So there you go. Thanks, John. So, but it's a pretty standard routine. I wouldn't say that John would take credit for the simple routine, which is just a minute. I'll put it in here with this. Got this one called wipe area. Clear V line. Okay, I'll put this one in here. Okay, bit. Bit reversal. Right. Now, I'm going to change that just because lowercase is what I'm using standard. So it doesn't take a lot of bytes, but it does use 2 registers, right? So let's see. The other one I'm looking at only uses 1 register, which is a little bit better. Okay. I'll byte then. Okay, we'll take this one from John Metcalf, and we'll use that there instead, because I think it's just because it uses 1 less register makes it a little bit nicer. So okay, I'm actually gonna just put a little note in there that that's his. Okay, So that uses L. Now I'm not so crazy on using L though. I think because I'm probably using it elsewhere. I'm more likely not to be using C. So switch over to C. And right, okay. Now I'm going to test that in a very simple way. So we've got draw char, I think it is, right? Yeah, draw char. Right, here's draw char, and you can see here this is where it reads it. So what we'll do, we'll call bit reversal and see what happens. Let's take a look at the game now. Let's see if it works. Oh, wait a minute. No, before I do that, I need to do some, look, I'm using C here. So that's not going to work. There, look. So we've got restore. I've got the value of H is being restored for just thinking, what's that for? Of course, it's just finished writing, so it's restoring the text back to the top and then going across so that you've got, right, okay, so I could lose that actually. Slightly longer routine, but I could go like this: load AH, sub 8, load HA. Yeah, that will do the same thing, I think. And now we're not using C, which is good. Okay, anyone about? Not tonight, all on my own tonight. Oh well, people do watch later, so hello to you who are watching later. Okay, let's see what happens to the routine. This has the added benefit that if this works, then I don't need those other 8 characters, and that means I could potentially use them for something else as well. But I'm kind of doing it just because it's fun, you know, it's kind of an interesting approach. Okay, so that works, doesn't it? As you can see. All of the characters have been flipped. So that's good. So now, interesting idea, whether I should. Now, obviously, we've got a terminator byte, so we can't, doesn't, you know, I'm thinking terminator bit. I'm thinking that if we have bit, could use bit 7, right? And then you could have flipped characters. That's something I did in Donkey Kong game where I had all these tiles for Donkey Kong, but I wanted him to turn around, right? So I didn't want to use a whole set of tiles. So instead, I had a routine that would tell it to use the flipped versions. But that's by the by. Okay, so I've got the draw routine. Let me think about this. Do I want to just use this draw routine here? And could I couple of options, right? One of them is to use self mod, right, and just make it active or inactive. Okay, another option would be to draw the left side and read it and then reverse, but I don't think I want to do that. So how am I going to use this? Oh, I'm a little bit sleepy. I'm going to think about this then. Let me just think for a minute. Okay, well, I guess the best option, I think, is to create a flag for it. Now, I mean, look, I could put various flags into one byte. Not massively worried about that right now, though. So okay, so flip byte def be O, right? And then we go draw char, and where is draw char? Let's see. Here. Okay. It's going to slow it down quite a lot. Well, not a lot, everything's pretty fast, but what we'd have to do is do something like this, I think. So load a, let me think. It's a tricky one. Let's see, we're using DE. What I'm going to do is restore the original, because I need, if I'm going to check, if I'm going to check a character, I'm going to check a flag, then obviously I need to use accumulator, which means that to do that, I would have to do it before I loaded the value in, you see. Something like this, right? So load a, what did I say? Bit reversal. A, JR, Z, no reversal, and then load a DE called bit reversal, JR, byte, no reversal, a E and draw a child right here, right? Okay. And this is wrong because it's not the flag, is it? What's the flag? I can't remember the name of the flag now. Flip byte, right? Okay, so the flag is called flip byte. So let me comment that, and I'll tell you what that all means. Flip byte, right? Check if flip is on. So if flip byte is set to 0, no, it's off. Normal draw, right? Like that. And then here, get the value and reverse it. Call a reverse routine and don't reload it. Right? And then draw it, right? So this should put it back to normal now. Let's have a look. Yep, that's all good. And anyway, right. It's funny, really. I've got used to people popping on, so it's a bit strange that a bit quiet tonight, but not to worry. Normally code on my own anyway. Right. So if I now set flip byte here to 1, then everything should be flipped now. Right? And I'll use that routine. Yeah, then I'll just use that routine to draw the landscape, and each time I draw a character, I will get the reverse on the other side and flip it like that. Shouldn't be too tricky to do, I think. So I might just hard code it because it's such a small amount of printing that I don't necessarily need to do anything more than that. But we'll see. What I might do is maybe I'll adapt the character routine to draw a mirror image on the other side, but in the right place, by calculating the position and then determining what screen address it should be printed at on the other side. And could work, couldn't it? All right. Okay, so before I do that though, I'm going to draw that little bottom part by adapting that old routine. It draws that thing at the top. Let's have a look. Okay. So this one is top char loop, right? Okay, so we're going to call it char string loop. Okay. Now, where is it getting? Ah, there, right, okay. So that's the top char, the character that we're using in the string, right? That's the source address. Right, okay. Well, that's manageable. Do it like this. So put that in there, and then we say that load the e top char, right? Now, obviously, we're gonna push DE here, pop DE there, and that keeps our char value. Okay, good. I'll take that out. And put it somewhere else. Okay, I'm going to keep all these routines in the same, roughly in the same place. So that's the char string loop. Make a note. Print a string of char source DE at address HL string count in B. Okay, so all of that should work, and then that'll allow me to call another routine the same as this for drawing that little those little spikes at the bottom of the game, right? So let's have a look. Okay. That's all good. We've got that thing at the top, that's fine. So now we just want to know which character it is. And it's the one. Where was it? It was right at, it was character, what would it be? 32, 64, 96, 95. Character 95. So if I'm looking at the font here, each one of these is a character, right? And I haven't presumably, I've put a little gap here. Let me see. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. So that's where the landscapes are. In fact, I might as well give that a label. Landscape chars, they start there. And here, spike char, right? That one. Okay, so I'll just rewind a second. Okay. This is where we get to call the wipe area, right? And now we're going to call char string loop with how many of those are we going to have? I don't remember. I'll go take a look. There are 19 of those, right? Now let's talk about the screen address. Mentally calculate this. So it's definitely 50 is the high byte, and it's 50 and it's 8 characters down. So it's 7 times 32 is sec. 224, 225, 6, 7, 8. So 228, which is E4. So it should be 50 E4, I think, if my memory is not too bad. So low char 50 E4, line of spikes. Let's say 19 of those. Spike char. Right then, let's try that. Color might be wrong though. Might need to reconsider what to do about that. Is it green or is it yellow down there? Guess we'll find out. It's in the right place and it's yellow. Those are the good things. Slightly disappointing though. We've got a space. Which is a bit weird. Okay. Well, close though. Close. Very close. Of course, the what an idiot. The other routine is it prints, you can see it right there on the screen. Look, it's a space, isn't it? It's character plus a space. Oh, so I can't use the same routine. Rats. Dude, that is annoying. Well, let me think about that. Yeah, it's this ink L here, right? So double space, right? This is where I am just going to hack it. Why not? Double space is at 826C, right? And it's ink L. So I can just disable this by poking it with 0. So it's so poking double space with 0 or poking it with 2C. So in this example, we go, let's see, call jar string loop, okay, and it's spike jar, right? So we'll go XOR A load double space comma A, like that. Call. Where else is it being run? We'll find out. Here. In this case, we go load A with 2C, so that's going to add the ink L to the code. Like that. Right, so each time I call this char string loop, I don't think there's going to be another time, but if I do, I've now at least got, in this case, it's going to be single, double, and then because it's going to ink L, and in the other case, it's going to be single. So that should work. It's a bit of a hack, really, but this is the kind of thing you do to save space anyway. All right, let's try that. Good. All right. Now, at some point soon, I'm going to make it just jump straight to that. But that's okay. That works. What about the rest of the landscape, huh? Well, it's all in green for a start. So I can set the color to green in the ink because that's the draw char uses a color to determine. It can tell if it's if there's a color been set. So I can do that. Let me think. Let's get the column in position for the character. And we'll take it from there for the first character. Let's see. So obviously it's going to be column 0. Fortunately, Major D can tell me what column it is. It's column row. It's row 19, isn't it? Right. So start from there. Okay, so this is going to have a bit of fiddly maths. We'll work it out. Okay, start like this. Load D 0, loading I might replace these with hard-coded values later, but that'll do for now. Call get char screen address. Okay, and load DE landscape chars, I guess. Let's check, what does the draw char routine do? Draw character stored at DE at address HL. Yes, okay. So that'll do. Place on it. This is in the intro text. Okay, actually what I'm going to do, I'm not going to touch that. Instead, I'm going to put it in the other place. And put it in here. Sorry, not there. This is annoying. Just a sec. Yeah, I'm just going to put it in here just to fix it, right? And that way, if it's by default, it'll be double space. I could do it the other way around, I suppose, but anyway, that'll do. Okay, and then I've got this routine here that I want to put in. So get the screen address for that column and row, and scrape chars and draw a char, but it'll be the wrong color, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a second. Yeah, okay, so that's there, that's fine. Now, what I want to do, think about this. At the moment, that's just raw. So, you know, I'd literally just be printing them one by one, like hard-coded without a loop or anything, which is not ideal. Anyway, let's figure this out. So that's, I think it's, what I have to do is figure out how to get the opposite position over here and flip it, right? So, how do we do that calculation? Let's see. Let me think. So for example, if we're at column O here and we want the next one to print at column 26, yeah. So what you do, I think it's 20, you'll go 26 minus the current column will give you the column there, right? So that one would be also 26. And that one, for example, that would be 1, right? So 26 minus 1, 25, it's there, right? So that's how you'd figure that out. Okay. We'll make a routine called draw, char, and flip. Bespoke routine, really, but I think we'll make use of it. So what draw, char, and flip will do is it will call draw char, right? Draw the left side, then dec L, and then let me think about this for a second. Yeah, we need to push DE. That's the source. Okay. Now, load A. No, load B A. Oh. No, let me think. Okay, load. Okay. Store L. Okay, that's a bit fiddly. I'm getting sleepy, but I need to do because it's load AL, right? And we need to AND it with a bit fiddlier than I thought. Let's see. First of all, what do we AND it with 31. Don't need to do that right. Don't need to do that yet, I guess. And 31. And to the right side, sub A. Okay. Temp store again in C, and then load AL again, and this time and it with 228, isn't it? I think no. That anyway, right? Reverse the bits. So I'll put this one in binary as well, so it's easy to see. Okay, so if you're imagining the screen memory, I've got the address over here on the left, sorry. Then I need to know what the column is, right? So what I do is I just take those 5 bits there on the right hand side. That gives me the column. Then I subtract the column from 26 to give me the corresponding column on the other side. Then I need to go to the address and get to column 0 in the right place. So I take those 3 bits like that, and then I add it to C like that, and then I load L A, and that's in the opposite position, right? Okay, and then what am I going to do? Load flip right, comma A. Is that right? Okay, that's the flip byte flag. I better reset that afterwards. I'll do it now while I remember. Sorry, load. This is really not the ideal way of doing this, I think, but it's adding some interesting code for you guys to follow. So load flip by A there. Okay, that will come at the end when it's finished. And over here, we've now set the byte to be flipped. HL is correct. DE is still the source. So we can call drawchar like that. Okay, and if all of that works, it's no guarantee. But if all of that works, then it should have a flipped character on the other side. No, got nothing. Okay. All right. I don't think I called it, did I? I don't think I actually called that routine. Okay. No, I didn't. See? Okay, let's see. Getting tired of pressing fire here. I'm going to have to skip all this. Okay. So it's printed it, flipped, but not in the right place. I mean, it's overprinted it, hasn't it? It would seem. Why is that not worked? Oh, do I? Yeah, that's a stupid thing to do, isn't it? Look, I've loaded C with 26 and then I've subtracted A. That doesn't subtract it from 26. It should be load CA, load A26, sub C. Yeah, of course it should. That's silly, wasn't it? Okay. Ta-da! Yes. Okay, good. We're on. All right, so it gives us a couple of advantages in the sense that we can now just write a routine maybe to just draw that on there and just automatically draw the rest on that side. Okay, so how to go about that? Well, okay, so this here is a routine that calculates where a character is. This is in the random char routine, but I've got the same routine here. Almost the same routine here. A second. Here. That's good. Rescue fund. Okay. It's called font as well. Ah. What's that all about? Letter 2 characters there. What is that? I don't think am I using that anywhere? I'm only using it at that routine at the start. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that might be some sort of residual. Let me just see what happens. Let me do this. Yeah, okay, so that's actually using the proper game font now. I don't know what it was doing before. Just pause it there. So yeah, that's using the game font now. It wasn't using it before. So I think it's just residual. And I should just delete it. It's interesting. Fine. Okay. Okay. we'll go to that. Get rid of that. And keyboard border test, I'll leave that in there for now. I'm going to temporarily disable this. That'll give us an auto start. Okay, and all I'm doing here is just disabling that play player 1 bit. And because I'm not testing that at the moment, right? So I don't want to have to see that game boot up like that every time. So now when I boot it up, it's just gonna go straight away to start the game like that, right? It's just gonna be easier for me to test. Okay, so that worked. All right, hello, whoever you are. Pipe up. I'm not probably not going to be on too much longer actually, because I've more or less finished what I wanted to do. Just be thinking about this couple of routines now. So bit of tidying up. Now then, what do I want to do here? Lost my train of thought. Let's see. My cat's bumping around. I don't know what she's doing. You all right up there? Coming down? You're staying there. Well, choice is yours. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, okay, so I've got this. That just threw me there, having that font in there, which is just not used. This one. Don't know why. It's just some old code, I guess, left over. Not using it. So we'll get rid of that. And got this routine here that figures out an address for a character. You've got an ASCII character, right? Figure out what ASCII. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put this routine in here. Get char address. Get source address for ASCII character defined in A. Yep, that should work. So it's going to be easier then to use this in the drawing the landscape routine and other things as well. So instead of repeating code here, we're going to take them out. Get char address here. Oh, it's a little more complicated than that. Okay. Okay, just a minute. We just need load H. I think I might have deleted more there than I needed to. No, that's okay. Right, there we go. Don't need that. So obviously I'm messing about with a few things here, so I'll make sure that's still working. Make sure everything's still working. Just running it should be enough just to see. Okay, let's go. Yeah, everything seems to be okay. Good. So now I've got a routine that I can access called get char address. And that's going to be handy for me because now here, where I've got load DE landscape chars, I'm going to replace that with load A 96, I guess it was load A96 call get char address. I think that'll work, unless I've corrupted the registers or something, which I don't think I did. And that's important because now I can read characters. It's going to make it easier to draw the whole thing. Okay, so it's not drawing now. That means something's not working. I know why. because the get char address is in HL, so we need to XDEHL, right? And obviously, complicate things a little bit because we've lost our hang on a minute. Look at some. How did I get around that before? Okay. So I'm literally just Xing store the screen address and then okay. Yeah, okay, so we get the address and we store it in DE, obviously, because we don't need DE there anymore. So that's in DE, then we get the screen address, char address, and then we flip it back. That should do the job. Just like that. Check if that works. Yes, right. Okay, now how do we draw? Now I can put, for example, an index and just read a series of characters. But since I have now saved an extra character, so there are, like, if we look on here, right, to this one, okay, we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 characters. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Oops. Fella turned it there randomly. Okay, so if I look at the landscape characters then, what I could probably do is do something like this, right? So that is to say these ones so 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Now, those are the only characters, right? So I could set up a stream of either 1, 2, or 3 characters, right? So what I'm suggesting here, I'll show you, hang on, we can look at this. Okay, so this is 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? So read the character that we need to print, then read how many characters we need to print, on that line, increase it, increase the character every time it's printed, do a carriage return after, in this case, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 2, and then 3. That should do it. So what I'm thinking about is there are only 8 characters, right? Which is, what's that, 4 bits? So the other 4 bits I could use to say how many characters there are. Or I could use a terminator byte. Right, okay, we'll have a little play about. Let's see, right? That's what I think we'll do. Obviously, we're starting from here. The screen address. Now, let's try this. Here's a load of data, right? Let's put the data in. So, landscape data, character 0, character 1, character 2, character 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now then, all I need to do is say print that one, print that one, print that one, and then by default, carriage, I just needed some sort of carriage return byte. So it's going to be pretty bespoke. I mean, it won't be very flexible, but it will work. So what we'll do, try this, right? I think. So that one would be 128 because there's a carriage return in there as well. Okay, and that one will be 128. That one will be 128. And this. Well, that'll be the last one anyway, right? So probably doesn't need it. How do I terminate? Well, I guess if it's 7, it knows to terminate. Maybe. Okay. So let's see how we do that. I won't. So the landscape starts there. We load A with IX. And this time, yeah, so we just AND it with it's the value, right? That's all good. And so we don't need that anymore. Get char address, draw char, and flip. Okay, that's all good. And then after that's drawn, we're going to load AIX. And rotate it to the left. And here we put no carriage return, right? And then here, because there's a carriage return, we're going to go, it's all in that bottom half of the screen, so that's all okay. We'll go load AL. Oh, yeah, okay, so and 3, 5, yes. Set to start, set to left on screen, A32, down 1. A. Nope, A32, load LA, right? Set carriage down. And then it's 7, so it's last char drawn, JRZ, done, no, all chars done. No, it's a bit generic. Landscape done. Right. Landscape done there. Okay, and here we go down and adjust LA. Oh, but if we do the flip, call draw char flip here, oh yeah, okay, draw char and flip. Gotta make sure we restore it as well. Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, okay. Push DE, call draw char, pop DE, right. That's fine. And then here, what we need to do is push HL. Pop it here, because then that brings us back to the where we were before. Do you see what I mean? So we print it and we print that one over there, and then we restore back to where we were with and one over. Think. Okay, so let's just check that. Look at here. Right, let me talk you through that. Right, so start of landscape data. And it's literally just 8 characters, right? So get first character. Remove the flag bit. It's a flag bit for carriage return, right? I haven't got IncIX, let's remember. I've got IncIX in here, no. We'll just do that right now. Okay. So and we've got to jump to draw a landscape loop, which would be here. All right, so let's go through landscape data, draw landscape loop, get the first character, remove the flag bit, store screen address in BE, get char address, HL, swap back, and then draw both characters left and right. No, that's no good. Oh yes, it is. It's fine. Load A there. AIX is there and it's got the data correct, right? So, and then we get the value again. Get the value again. This time we check for the flag. No, first we check if it's the last char, which is 7. Yes. Landscape is drawn. Check for bit 7. No bit 7. All good. No bit. Oh, no bit 7. Stay on this line. If not, do a carriage return. So set to the left of the screen. So we just take the 5 bits here and get rid of them. And then we add 32. Load LA, and it's all within the bottom third of the screen. So there's no need to do a 16-bit add. So that's all good. And then set carriage down to new screen address. And then increase IX. Go. Next character. Draw and then jump back. And what do we do when we say landscape done? We need a landscape done. There it is. Landscape done. Right. So overall, the code for drawing the landscape is pretty small, isn't it? Which is nice. If it works, of course. 2 errors. Unrecognized instruction. Okay, 969. Okay. It's not hard to fix, is it? I haven't put def B in here. That's why. That's all. Didn't like that, obviously. Okay. Just a second. Well, I'd call that a partial success because it is actually printing in the right place. The only thing we haven't got is the correct source. So, yeah, not too bad. So I wonder why it's losing the source. No reason why that shouldn't work unless... No. Okay, 80B9, going to do a bit of debugging. Take a look. Oh, hang on a minute. And FF, that's not right. That's not right for a start. Too many bits here. Where are we here? Okay, it's not this bit, is it? It's up here. This one. It's one too many. So, should be 127, shouldn't it? 7F. Don't think that's going to make any difference though. Let's see what happens here. So I got the source at 8500. Which is all wrong. Yeah, that's totally wrong. Okay. Let's figure out what's going on there. Oh, of course, I just realized the font. Duh. Right. Okay. So I've got those characters as 0, 1, 2. What I need to do is add 96 to that value. Because otherwise, because currently it's set to 1, you know? It's set to 0 to 7. So it needs to be 96 to 104 or whatever it is, right? So 3. Yeah. Because I'm actually dealing with the ASCII of 96 to 103, but I'm using 0 to 7 just because there are only 7 bricks, if you like, and I need to do an ASCII offset to make it work like the rest of it. So that'll be the reason. Though, before I do that, did I fix that? Yeah, I did fix that. Okay, that Vogue bit. Okay. Ta-da! Success. Yes, right, that works. Good. Excellent. Of course, we've got the colors though. We want it to be green, and there is a way we can fix that. So, some kind of we've got some kind of color. It's in draw char, isn't it? No, it's in the draw char routine. Draw char. Looks for the color. Yeah, text color. There. There's a new text color been set. Okay, so if so this is the routine for drawing the landscape, right? Draw a landscape here. All of that. I guess we include that as well. Well, okay, I'll probably put that into a routine on its own later. In fact, might as well do it now, right? Draw landscape here. Do all of this and all of that. And then, okay, just take that out and put it somewhere else. Well, there's draw overlay, so I suppose we might as well put it near that, next to that one. Okay, and there's a ret here. That's return if landscape is complete. And draw a landscape there.